Hey there, yogis. For this practice, you'll want to have 2 blocks. And this practice is more of a level 2 flow, but I'll definitely give modifications to make it more accessible. Just please remember to listen to your body if anything's not feeling good, and if you feel any pain, strain, or pulling back out. So I just wanted to talk for just a moment and tell you what this class is about today. Our affirmation is, I create space for my next level self to emerge. So right now on this planet, it's really a time of shifting and changing, and it's really easy for us to let our vibe get really low and to start focusing on all the negative. But I really want to use today's practice as a way to uplift ourselves and to maybe shift out of a place of fear, out of a place of negativity, into more of a positive mindset. And one of the beautiful ways we can do that is through yoga or other movement-based practice. And we can incorporate some breathing, which is super important to shift your perspective as well. And we'll also bring in an affirmation. All right, so let's start up at the front of your mat. Also, if you'd like to have some water handy, that might be a good idea. You can pause it and go get some water, okay? Because it's going to be kind of non-stop movement here for the first few moments of our practice today, or for most of it today. Okay, so from here, coming into your mountain pose, you can be up at the front of the mat. Lift the toes, spread them apart, grip them down. As usual, making sure your feet are either your big toes are touching or your feet can be up to 2 inches apart, but really no further than that. Shift your weight back a little bit so that your pelvis feels like it's in a neutral position above the ankles. Okay, from here, neutralize the pelvis. So draw your navel towards the spine a little bit, just letting your tailbone be heavy. Lift the rib cage up and relax your shoulders away from the ears, chin parallel to the ground. Breathe here. You could take a couple cleansing breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Letting go of anything that you brought onto your mat with you today, just let it go. Setting the intention to create space for your next level self to emerge. So as it feels good, you could start to breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. And today as you breathe, I want you to focus on expanding the rib cage in every direction, but also the lower part of the back. I learned so much whenever I teach my yoga teacher training classes, and I had a couple musicians last week in my class talk about breathing into the low back, which will ensure that you're actually breathing into and doing a deep diaphragmatic breath. So expand the rib cage, yes, but then also place your hands on your low back and see if you can make that place expand with your inhale. And then as you exhale, let your outer body soften. Do that a couple more times. And just notice how that is actually a really deep breath. And when you feel like you've got the feel of that, you can bring your arms down by your sides. Very good. So now incorporate your affirmation. I create space for my next level self to emerge. You can just shorten that to I create space if that feels better for you. Very good. Okay, so exhale, push down into the feet here. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead. Grab your left hand with your right wrist. And then grab your left wrist with your right hand and then exhale, lean over to your right, hips to the left. Inhale, come up, switch wrists. Exhale, other side. Inhale, come up. Exhale, both arms down by the sides, interlace the fingers behind the back, Yoga Mudra. Keep the chest lifted, keep the chin pulled back in space. As you're here, bring the breath up into the rib cage and really expand the ribs with the inhale. Soften as you exhale. Let go of your Yoga Mudra. Do a couple shoulder circles, head rolls. Okay, let's do that little sequence one more time before we really get into the flow. Inhale, arms up. Grab your left wrist with your right hand. Exhale, lean over to your right. Inhale up. Exhale, lean over to your left. Inhale up. Exhale, hands behind your back. Interlace your fingers in your non-dominant way. Big shoulder roll, breathe. Relax your forehead, relax your jaw. Good. I create space for my next level self to emerge. Release. Do some shoulder circles. All right, let's move into Surya Namaskara. A, sun salutation. A, get ready to get warm really quick, and then we will cool it down. Exhale, push down into all four corners of the feet. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead. Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, fold. Feel free to bend the knees so you can point the tailbone up. Inhale, come to your version of monkey pose. If you cannot get a flat back with your hands on the floor, please bring them up to the shins. Exhale, step back to plank, top of a push-up. Let's try to keep the ego out of this one. Inhale, push forward, shoulders past the wrists. Exhale, lower with or without the knees. See if you can get your chest to land before the belly. Uncurl your toes. Inhale, lift your chest forward and up. Little or big cobra, up to you and your body. Exhale, down. Curl the toes under. Inhale, push up in a straight line. Either the knees are straight up. Exhale, hips up and back, downward facing dog. If you can't be honest with yourself on your mat, where can you be honest with yourself, okay? So, just really listen to your body and really watch your form. Don't let the ego tell you to bypass good form in order to achieve some variation or modification of the pose that your ego thinks it needs to. Okay, in your down dog, you're rolling your shoulders away from each other, rolling the forearms in. I create space to let my next level self emerge. Okay, so we are creating space. We are letting go of what no longer serves us today. You don't have to put a name on it. Just set the intention to let it go. Let's work it up to the surface. Let's let it out. And in that light, let's walk the dog a little bit. Bring some funky movements maybe into your pelvis. Okay? Move the hips, move the body. From there, you can walk your feet in a couple inches. Big toes touch, bend your knees. Inhale, look forward. At the end of the exhale, walk or lightly hop to the front of the mat. Okay, coming into your mountain pose feet. Inhale, reach your chest forward, monkey pose, nice long spine. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Push into the feet, look out in front of you. Inhale, rise up. Circle the arms out to the sides and overhead, palms touch. Exhale, bring the hands down through center. Good. Bring your hands onto your hips and let's come into figure four chair. Let's cross the right leg over the left. Okay, keep the foot active, meaning pushing through the heel and the ball of the foot. Sit back like you're sitting into a chair. Tip your pelvis forward. You are maybe just going down a little bit, but make sure your hips are going back. I like to come down to where I can bring my elbows, one elbow kind of to the foot or the ankle and then the other one to the knee. But keep drawing the chest forward. You should have a long spine here, not rounded. If you need to look at yourself in the mirror, do that. Now from here, we're going to slowly come up. You can take a break if you need to, but then we're going to come to a warrior one with that foot that's lifted. Okay, so you'll bring the foot in front of you, the knee in front of you, and then shoot it back for a warrior one. So you can plant the back heel down. Arms can come up. If it's too much for the back calf at this point, keep the heel lifted for a crescent warrior. Hands to the hips, hinge forward, warrior three. And back up to stand, mountain pose. Very good. Okay, so now cross your left ankle over the right. Sit back into your figure four chair, feeling this in the hip of the leg that is lifted. Draw the chest forward, shoulders back. Relax the forehead, relax the jaw. Good. Slowly come up. You can take a break if needed. You're going to take that same knee up in front of you and then shoot it back for your warrior one. Breathe here. Push the heel down. Lengthen the tailbone. Good. Hands to the hips. Hinge forward. Warrior three. Okay, so back toes pointing down. You're in a straight line from the heel to the crown of the head. Very good. Place the foot down, mountain pose, Tadasana. If you're working on the Sanskrit, say it with me, Tadasana. I'm going to grab a drink. Feel free to do the same. Okay, very good. Let's do another flow. Exhale, push down into the feet. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead. Exhale, fold. Inhale, monkey pose, flat back. Feel free to have the knees bent. Exhale, walk to plank or hop to chaturanga. Okay. Inhale, back bend of choice. Don't lie to yourself. Okay. If that hurts, don't do an up dog. If you don't know how to do it, if you've not been properly trained, do a cobra. Okay. On your exhale, you're back in downward facing dog. I'm hoping I don't lose my mic today on these pants. Take some breaths in down dog. Big toes can touch. Inhale, right leg up. Exhale, round the back. Uddiyana Bandha, round the back. Navel towards the spine. Bring the foot in between the hands. Okay, flatten the back foot. Have your right heel in line with the arch of the back foot and windmill your arms up. Virabhadrasana 2. Right leg in front, left foot behind, right heel in line with the arch of the back foot. Turn the back toes in slightly. I know sometimes I'm going to look reverse to you, so sorry about that. That's going to happen sometimes in the video, but breathe here. I create space to let my next level self emerge for my next level self to emerge. So how can you create space here, or how can you embody your next level self here in your warrior two pose, right? Let's do a side stretch. Left hand to the left leg, right arm up and over. Come back to your warrior two, side angle stretch, your modification. Okay, so your right forearm might be on the right knee. Both shoulders are directly over the bottom legs. I'm going to come into a bind because I can here without stretching too much. But we haven't done any shoulder stretches, so if you don't have long arms or really open shoulders, probably not going to try to push yourself into this one, right? Your next level self is not your ego. It's not ruled by your ego. Very good. Release that. Downward facing dog. Optional vinyasa. You can stay there. You can take a child's pose, or you can move with me. Inhale forward to plank. Exhale lower to chaturanga, 90 degrees with the elbows. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. See why I called it level 2? So if you're level 1, obviously you would go all the way down. You bring your knees down, come all the way down to the belly with really good form. You do a cobra, lower down, push back up. And down, okay? Inhale, left leg up and back. Exhale, navel towards the spine, round the back. Bring the foot in between. Flatten the back foot. Virabhadrasana 2, other side. Left knee's pointing straight forward. Arms up. Gaze out through the left middle finger. Embody your next level self here, yogi. Embody yourself in the challenging poses and in the easier poses. Not saying this is easy. Okay, reverse it. Side angle. Don't let the ego trip you up. Come on, go to where you can go with good form. Both shoulders should be stacked over the bottom leg. Listen to your body, honor yourself. Release, vinyasa. So full stretch and down dog. Inhale forward to plank. Exhale, I'll do the level 1 variation. Lower down, elbows in. Uncurl the toes. Inhale, Bhujangasana, cobra, elbows bent. Exhale, down, curl the toes under. Inhale, push up in a straight line. Come on, work those triceps. Exhale, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Very good. Come down to the hands and knees, uncurl the toes and sit back here. You can either sit back onto the heels. If that's not feeling good, do a virasana. So knees are pointing forward, feet apart. Place 2 blocks or 1 in between the ankles. Have the ankles touching the block. And let's do the Ganesh Mudra. So interlacing, not interlacing, but I'll come up and show you. So like this, grip. Okay, and then let's place that into the lap. Slow down the breath. Come back to the breath that we were doing in the beginning, creating some space, right, in the lungs, in the rib cage, so we can take deeper breaths, so we can allow more of our next level self in. Expand the rib cage, yes, but expand the low back. Deep diaphragmatic breathing. Slow it down, slow it down. Slow down the breath. That'll slow down your heart rate. Slowing down the body will slow down the mind. So we did some vigorous movement to let go of anxiety that you walked in with today. At least started that process, right? We did what we could. We got rid of what we could. Now it's time to slow it down. I create space for my next level self to emerge. Good. Take a cleansing breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And lower your head slightly, blink your eyes open, and lift your head. So now we're going to come into Pigeon Pose. So you can move the blocks in front of you in case we want to put our elbows on that. To come into Pigeon, I like to come into it from Downward Facing Dog. So come into your down dog, bend your knees. Let's inhale, look forward. At the end of the exhale, right knee to the outside of the right wrist. Outside of the right wrist. Right? Don't grab the foot and pull it up. I know you want to. Do not do that. That can totally jack up your knee. Does not matter if your shin is parallel to the front of the mat. If you need to feel more of a stretch in the right booty, curl the back toes under and walk it back instead, okay? From here, you can bring your forearms onto blocks. If your hips are open enough or your legs are externally rotated enough, or you can come down onto your forearms on the ground, by all means do so. Here you want your left leg. You do want the back leg parallel to the long edge of the mat. Back toes can be curled under or pointing back. Hips are square, okay, so you're not dumping off to the side. It's finding where it feels good for you. As you hold it, you might be able to go a little bit further, but you should be able to breathe. You should be able to smile. If you can't do those things, maybe gone a little bit too far. Relax your forehead, relax your jaw. Create space here, yogi. Yogi, light worker, change maker, right? Creating, shifting your inner world to shift your reality. It's not selfish. It's one of the best things that we can do for the planet. This is a great pose to go inward. Very good. Let's very slowly switch it out. So just take your time. You can come to your down dog and shift it out a little bit. Move the hips, bend the knees. Inhale, look forward at the end of the exhale. Left knee to the outside of the left wrist. Back. Leg is parallel to the long edge of the mat, toes pointing straight back. Hips are square. Breathe. One side might be way different than the other. That's normal. Okay, just go to where you need to go to feel sensation on this side. If one side is way tighter than the other, you might want to hold the really tight side a little bit longer. That's fine. It's one way to start to bring a little bit more balance. And then very slowly make your way out of it to your final downward facing dog of the practice. Let's shift it out, walk it out. Shift your hips from side to side. Make your way to your hands and knees and swing your feet around, coming into wide leg stance with your feet. This will definitely depend on your flexibility, but if you are nearby a chair or something, you could hinge forward and put your forearms on a chair. If you can keep a straight spine and bring your elbows to blocks, that would be a possibility. If you just need to stay here and push forward, that's fine as well, okay? I want the spine to be nice and straight so that we can't straight but not rigid, right? So long but not rigid. But you want to be able to breathe. If the back's really rounded, it's a lot harder to breathe. So just come to where you can go with a nice long spine. Nice deep breaths. Your exhales can start to get longer and longer. Very good. And then just slowly come up. Have a soft gaze, your eyes closed. Take a couple breaths and notice how you feel after that pose. Good. Lower your head slightly and blink your eyes open and lift your head. Let's set up in our final pose, which we're going to do a heart opener, supported fish. So one block on the lowest height, that will be on the opposite side of your chest. Other block will be about 1 block's width away from you on the medium height. Okay, you can lay back. Make sure that this is making you arch your back. If it's making you round your shoulders in, the block's probably too far up the spine. Okay, so it should feel like your shoulders are rolling back. You might even want to actually roll the shoulders under the back. Let your feet be about as wide as the mat. Let them fall out to the sides. I create space for my next level self to emerge. Repeat that a couple times on your own. And let's hold here in silence for a few moments, just letting go, let go of any tension. Eyes closed, relax, release. Start deepening your breath. And take a couple cleansing breaths if that would feel good, in through the nose and out through the mouth. Bring some gentle movement back to your fingers and toes and wrists and ankles. If it would feel good, you can lower the block under the head onto the lower height. Reach your arms overhead for a little full body stretch. And then very carefully either roll onto your right hand side or tuck your chin and use your elbows in your hands to slowly roll yourself up to seated. Coming to a cross-legged pose, pull the flesh away from the sitting bones, eyes closed. Come back to your Ganesh Mudra, clasping the hands. Notice how you're feeling. Notice how you're breathing. Setting the intention to walk through the rest of the day as your next level self. You'll treat your body well. You'll drink more water. You'll eat more nourishing foods. You won't get caught up in gossip or negative talk. You will thank your body for everything it can do for you as you move throughout your day. Circle your hands together in front of your heart, bringing your palms together to touch. Sealing our practice and our time together today. Thank you so much for letting me guide you through this practice, Yogi. Thank you for everything you do out there in the world. Thank you for shining your light. Thank you for doing the inner work and creating change within you and outside of you. Namaste.